there anybody 50 Cent fears? Ever? Historically in life?
Now, all of the situations, if you don't have fear, then you're not smart, then you just not acknowledging danger.
All right.
I observed him in meetings. I observed that kind of calmness and how he could take over a meeting, not by being super aggressive, but just by having this kind of dominant persona.
Like, when you get hurt as bad as I get hurt, when I got hit, either your fear consumes you or you become insensitive. It hardened me a little bit. We even brought it down to the perspective of a person that's in a staff meeting that is watching someone else raise their hand to answer a question that they know the answer to. And that means that person deserves to be ahead of you in life, because your fear of being wrong at that point is not allowing you to create your value in the workspace.
Like, let's say the person's across the street, they look at you, they don't like you from across the street. Some people feel the need to go across the street to say, why, I'm a good person. I don't give a f.
Yeah.
Yeah! Nigga, I'm straight out of South Side. Yeah.
50 Cent often draws a direct parallel between business and the streets, treating both as environments governed by strategy, power, and survival. This mindset shows up a lot in his interviews and ventures, as well as in projects like Power, where the line between corporate strategy and street survival is intentionally blurred. In short, 50 Cent treats business like a chess game rooted in street logic, where discipline, awareness, and leverage matter more than anything else.
Because of the global reach you have,
Right.
you don't need a website headline to reach anybody.
Exactly.
You reach 20, 30, 50 million people like that.
To the phone, right?
To the phone. You're saying you're doing that to communicate what to these sort of businesses?
To business insiders, if you want the show to sell, you bring it to me.
Period.
Yeah.
So let's look at what you're doing here. 17 dramas, 2 comedies, 5 unscripted. I'm gonna ask you the dumb question. We don't always do the smart question, you know me. The dumb question is, what do you say when you sit down with one of these executives and they go, oh, I thought you were, quote, just a rapper?
Oh, I'm just a lot of things.
The boss in the neighborhood doesn't see killing someone as it doesn't rule killing someone out as an option to expand business. When in corporate America, I've interacted with people that absolutely have intentions of killing the competition in a different way.
But it's just not literally, it's yeah.
More ruthless people in the business world and in the street. You know, like they just have subtleties to their tactics. How they do things is more, you know.
Suit and tie.
Yeah, it's not confrontational. It's just, you know, but they're doing it right in front of you. You know, how they're structuring the actual deal and things that they're doing. It's like just taking the money for you. Look, robbery, at least it will give you the courtesy of showing you the gun, so you can have those anxieties and feel those feelings that you would feel when you're being robbed. They'll do it on a piece of paper where you feel nothing. And just rob you right there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the same tactics with a different approach. And a lot of them, the people that do this comfortably, like handing the contract, the thing that they're not conditioned for is direct conflict. And that the circumstances I grew under, I absolutely have to be prepared for it.
Is there anybody 50 Cent fears? Ever? Historically in life?
Now, all of the situations, if you don't have fear, then you're not smart, then you just not acknowledging danger.
All right.
That point.
I learned that
But
in the
when
50th law.
Nah, yeah, but you just not, you stupid then. You're not scared of nothing. So
Right.
you watch that guy that just has zero fear and say, yeah, we can get him. He tough. We're going to have a hard time chewing on him, but we're going to get him. We get him. Like, other than that, you just got to pay attention to your surroundings and things that's going on. Like, and you say, never saying the toughest guy, Charlamagne. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then if I die in the process, I was doing what I wanted to do. Even the themes. Look, it's power to dollar.
Yep.
I get hit, I come back. Get rich or die trying. Because that's already what I'm feeling like I'm going to do. I'm in the process. It's the greatest thing is to watch me, because either I'm going to get rich or I'm going to die in the process.
Robert Greene is an author on strategy and power who collaborated with 50 Cent to write the book The 50th Law about fearlessness and success.
He had been shot when he was like 20 years old, like 9 bullets right there through a car window. one of the bullets lodged in his mouth, and he survived miraculously. And it gave him this kind of calmness, like, I have nothing to fear. I almost died. Bring it on. I don't really care.
When you get hurt as bad as I get hurt, when I got hit, either your fear consumes you or you become insensitive. It hardened me a little bit. It made me accept the fact that I'm not in control. So we could die any day now. It's just, I've secured my son's life. I secured the other people that I'm responsible for. So my job done if that happens.
And so I observed him in meetings. I observed that kind of calmness and how he could take over a meeting, not by being super aggressive, but just by having this kind of dominant persona. And I thought that there's tremendous power in this fearlessness, not being afraid to be different, not being afraid to have conflict and confrontation, not being afraid of death itself, not being afraid of the reality of your situation, on and on. So the book that we formed together was kind of a meditation on 10 forms of fearlessness.
In terms of dealing with fear, I suppose you're not scared of anything after that.
Well, when you're in life-threatening situations, it makes you a little more conscious of death. You know, and the more that you are aware of your fate, the higher the probability you have a chance to live. So you're a little more free. Like I go into what Robert kind of identified as the core of my power is me being in business situations and being the person with the least fear at the table. And that's because I weigh these things up against my biggest losses in my life. So like the loss of my mom is the biggest thing that I've experienced. So walking into a room, even at the worst possible scenario, it won't damage me to the point or hurt as much as that hurt it. So I'll go in there in a secure space, able to speak and ask the questions, and I'd rather feel like I'm unaware for the moment within those quarters than to feel like I'm unaware in a losing situation.
50 doesn't care what people think about him. It's this incredibly powerful attitude towards life, right? You don't like him, all right, so what? Fine, I don't care. I'm gonna go my own way.
Like, let's say the person's across the street, they look at you, they don't like you from across the street. Some people feel the need to go across the street to say why I'm a good person. I don't give a f.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't give a f about how those people feel about me across the street because they don't care about me. Is it okay for me not to care about people that don't care about me?
A lot of people are incredibly afraid of failure.
Because I don't accept no as an answer, you know me, try again to me. Like, even on the business end, I keep it like that. So if I get the answer, it's not a big enough letdown to stop me from not going after my actual goal. You know, so like when I got a chance to talk to him, we even brought it down to the perspective of a person that's in a staff meeting that is watching someone else raise their hand to answer a question that they know the answer to. And that means that person deserves to be ahead of you in life because your fear of being wrong at that point is not allowing you to create your value in the workspace.
And because of that, they never try anything different. They never experiment with anything. 50 doesn't care if he's afraid. I saw him in business meetings, very high-powered business meetings with people offering him $50 million contracts. He doesn't care about walking away. He doesn't care about saying something that will make them, he doesn't care about saying, no, I don't want to do it, right? And what happens, what I saw in meetings, the fact that he didn't care whether people wanted to work with him or not, made them doubly anxious to work with him. It was a kind of seduction tactic.
Jimmy Iovine viewed 50 Cent as direct competition when he launched SMS Audio, sparking friction with Interscope Records. But 50 Cent didn't back down and made it clear he didn't care if Jimmy or Interscope didn't like it.
Coming out with headphones, Dr. Dre and
Right.
Jimmy Iovine just had a cash windfall with their. How are you going to set yours apart?
Well, it's the headsets that we launched with have a technology that none of those headsets actually have.
That's where me and Jimmy got off. You know what I mean? Because that's a cool space. I do SMS following that. And I experienced something that was really interesting during the time span of that.
What happened?
They treated it like I was a direct competitor. And it's how can you do what you need to do for the music when you feel like I'm your competing company? Because he's feeling like it's a direct competitor to Beats, they can't do anything the right way. This is why, like my last album, I didn't even deliver my last album to Interscope. They let it go before it got bad.
Because they were just like, this ain't gonna work out.
And I was talking to Steve Berman. I told Berman, I was like, yo, listen, I don't know how to not respond to someone that I feel like is trying to hurt me. So I'm gonna start trying to hurt people around him. And then it choked out.
And are you out of a deal with them completely?
Yeah. I own everything. All my masters and everything.
Oh, you got everything?
Everything.
So every stream is money in your pocket?
Yeah. You know how many people go through business classes? If everything you needed was in that actual business class, in that book, it'd be too many successful business people.
Right.
How many people graduate? Matter of fact, the professor wouldn't have the time to sit there and teach you. That knows this book damn near verbatim, page by page, he knows it, right?
Because he'd be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's too busy. I'm doing way too much right now because I got the palm trees and we selling so much of the stuff that I'm doing that I ain't quite got time to teach no motherfucking class right now because I'm winning.
Right.
Now, why would I be teaching the class? Wait, maybe I'll do it once, a seminar. But he ain't gonna commit to teaching no class if he's doing that well in business himself.
I mean, the book does describe some fairly nasty incidents. I mean, just in a chapter about the Hustler King, you slashed the face of a rival's assistant who's out to hurt you.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back on all of that, I mean, how do you sort of feel? Because you've just moved so far away from that now.
Yeah, I did. But, you know, like, I think the things you go through make you who you are. So I don't regret those things. I don't regret them because I don't think I'd be who I am today if I wasn't exposed to those situations. If you ask me, would I, those are unfortunate situations that I've had to experience. And if I had a choice, I would have definitely went in a different direction. I might have wanted to go to school for business instead of having to go through this portion of my life. But,
tough lesson, yeah.
Yeah, but under those circumstances, when you're in an environment where you meet aggression with aggression, or you're deemed weak, and the weak becomes the prey. And when you're willing to go as far as further than the other guy, you always prevail. You always end up on top. It's like the kid in the schoolyard that doesn't want to fight always leaves with a black eye, because as soon as the other kid identifies he doesn't want to fight, he hits him.
I spent 6 months tied to his side, going with him everywhere. What is the key to his success? I decided the source of his power was one thing. 50 Cent is quite honestly fearless in life.
Yeah!